Please subscribe to Moon's Diary of Literature to get any kind of literary videos. And don't forget to press the notification bell. Now let's check out today's video. Hey friends, it's Moon here and I am welcoming you all to my channel. So today I'll discuss the chapter 14 of Thomas Hobbes' famous book or most important book that is called Leviathan, or the matter, form and power of a commonwealth, ecclesiastical and civil. Okay, so this is the full name of this book, but it is commonly referred to as Leviathan only. Okay, so actually Leviathan book concerned the structure of society and the legitimate government, and it is regarded as one of the earliest and one of the most influential examples of social contract theory. So now you are thinking that what is this social contract theory? So, actually, the concept of social contract theory is that in the beginning, man lived in a state of nature without government, okay, without law, and thus they faced hardships. And to overcome from that hardships, they entered into two agreements. One is Pactum Unionis, where people sought protection of their lives and property, and as a result of it, a society formed where people undertook to respect each other and live in peace and harmony. And the second agreement is Pactum Subjectionis. So it is this type of agreement where people united and they obey and surrendered the whole or most of their freedom and right to an authority. Okay. So I think this is clear. And in this book Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes brings out a social contract theory. According to him, according to Thomas Hobbes, prior to social contract, man lived in the state of nature in which man was selfish and in which man was lived in fear also. And as obvious, man has a natural desire for security and order. And in order to secure self protection and self preservation and to avoid the miseries and pains, man entered into a contract. So, this contract is basically called social contract theory. So, I think that this point is clear. So, now let us jump to the chapter 14 of Leviathan. So, the chapter is entitled as Of the First and Second Natural Laws and of Contracts. So, here in this chapter 14, Thomas Hobbes makes a distinction between the right of nature and the law of nature. The right of nature is called as ius naturale, and the law of nature is called as lex naturalis. So, the right of nature provides the surety that every man has the liberty to use his own power as he sees fit for self preservation. So, this is the right of nature that every man should have the liberty to use his own power when he will see that that power or that opportunity is good for himself and is good for self preservation. And after this, we have the law of nature, which means the precept of general rule found out by reason. So, this law states that man is forbidden to do anything that endangers his own life or the things he needs to survive. So, the law of nature says that man is forbidden to do those things which will endanger his life, his own life, or which will endanger the things which that person needs to survive. So, in this context, Thomas Hobbes says that right consisteth in liberty to do or to forbear, whereas law determineth and bindeth to one of them. So, this quotation simply means that right implies liberty, while law implies obligation. And Thomas Hobbes knows that in reality, man's best interest is to pursue peace. As long as the individual is involved in the state of war, no man is safe. It means that war is not the actual choice of man because every man wants peace, every man wants a better life, a peaceful life. Thus, by unholding the right of nature or by pursuing his right to everything, man perpetuates the state of war and is violating the law of nature. So, friends, it means that as men do not like the state of war and every man wants to live a peaceful life, that's why if man pursue the right of nature, which means the right to everything, then this right will violate the law of nature. And because of the right of nature, because of man's attitude to yearn everything, to get everything, this attitude will perpetuate into the state of war. So that's why Thomas Hobbes ends up this chapter by drawing out an biblical support from the Golden Rule that says that whatsoever you require that others should do, do you that do we to them. So friends, this was the chapter 14 of Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes, and in my channel you will also find the explanation or the main theme of chapter 13 of Leviathan. So I'll put the link in the description box. Don't forget to check out. So with this, let's end this session. Thank you so much for watching this video.